So the price of Bitcoin got firmly rejected. It almost reached 14,000 before crashing down. The truth is that Bitcoin was very overextended. However, the question is now whether or not the rally is over. That's what we're going to talk about today. Also, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. So let's get to it. Well, first of all, I think that Bitcoin was overextended and it was clearly heading higher, almost as if it was on a rocket ship. However, as we all know, nothing goes up or down in a straight line forever. Unfortunately, this means that at some point we were going to have a pullback. If we measure this from the last high, then we could be so far a 25% pullback. In my view, this would be entirely normal for Bitcoin because historically speaking, Bitcoin usually corrects 30 to 40% before making new all-time highs. So in my opinion, this particular pullback is entirely reasonable, and I think it is very healthy for this new bull market in Bitcoin. I also believe that we are well on our way to make new all-time highs at the current pace. Therefore, this recent pullback doesn't annoy me or concern me in the slightest. After all, Bitcoin's fundamentals remain as strong as they've ever been. And I recently published a Seeking Alpha article on this precise thing, where I make my case for Bitcoin as one of the best long-term investments you can make today. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check it out. But in any case, how much further down can we go from here? Well, as always, the truth is that nobody knows for sure. We will have to wait and see what happens. However, as many other people have already pointed out, a pullback down to 8,200 would be roughly 40%. And indeed, this could definitely occur. Nevertheless, even then the long term would still be intact and well on its way towards making new all-time highs. So, in my opinion, 8,200 is probably the lowest we could go in the short term in this particular pullback. Other people are also talking about filling some technical gaps down below, especially from futures, not from regular Bitcoin trading. So I think 8,200 would fill all those gaps and solidify a beautiful setup for higher highs in Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin's fundamentals, plus this rally being driven by institutions, suggests that this pullback in particular could be different. If you want more additional detail on this particular subject, you can check out my previous video on it. I'll leave a link in the description as well if you want to check it out. But in any case, I think that Bitcoin is probably not going to pull back that much further from here. For me, in my worst case scenario, I think we could go slightly below 10K and test that area very briefly for one last time before resuming our long-term bullish trend to 50K to 70K. If this were to play out, I would be looking roughly at 9,600 as the lowest point in this particular pullback. Again, this is what for me could theoretically happen. And I say this because the market likes testing these psychological levels, and in this case 10,000. So I guess that if we get close to 10K, we probably would test below that very briefly before going up once again. All in all, if you take a step back, I would say that the long-term trend still looks fantastic under such a pullback. So again, I would recommend you not to panic sell, just relax, stay relaxed. If you bought at the top, try not to look at your account, because when one sees red, then emotions start playing tricks on you. Just remember that Bitcoin's fundamentals are now stronger than they've ever been. And take it easy. After all, there's a reason why so many institutions and billionaire investors are buying as much Bitcoin as they possibly can. The truth is that any short-term pullback is just that, short-term. However, over the long term, if you keep dollar cost averaging yourself into Bitcoin, you will do just fine. I think that Bitcoin will continue to vastly outperform other asset classes available today. Just remember to keep your position size according to your risk tolerance. If you can't mentally handle the volatility, then your position is simply too big. Otherwise, relax, you will be fine. Volatility is normal at this stage for Bitcoin. And one last thing, I want to remind people that in July, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut the federal funds rate and maybe even start quantitative easing. Broadly speaking, this usually has a weakening effect on the US dollar. Conversely, this dynamic should be favorable for Bitcoin and gold. Given the fact that July is just around the corner, I am impressed at how well Bitcoin technicals and in general the chart is lining up with these macroeconomic fundamentals. As a side note, I'm planning on making a video on this topic as well, so don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified when I publish it. It also helps me a lot. However, in any case, I think that a couple months from now, you will look back at this pullback and realize that it was an excellent buying opportunity. So until then, folks, as I said, keep it easy, don't go all in, keep spreading your buy orders across many weeks and days if possible, and over the long term, you should be rewarded. However, most importantly, do not panic sell. Remember that this is just a short-term pullback. Bitcoin continues to be one of the most disruptive developments in human history. So use this volatility to your advantage, not to your detriment. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.